Why do you blur the background like that? You can still see the puzzle table that's been there for a million years.
What's up, rambling about wrestling?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Rambling About Wrestling podcast. This is the first episode of season 3, and I am so glad to be here with all of you. Welcome for those of you that are new here. And speaking of new here, I am joined today by two of my boys. We have the returning Vilardi, also known as Good Guy Vilardi, because he's a very good guy. And he's finally making his debut in season 3, episode 1, 6 or 7 months after the podcast started. We finally get one of my favorite people, the one and only Andrew Zabata, also known as Bear.
Hello, everybody.
The three of us went recently and we indulged in meeting the one and only, the most prestigious one, Joe Hendry. And we had one hell of a time, let me tell you. I've been following this guy for a very, very long time because, my cousin's last name is Hendry. So I always thought there was a connection there. So we followed his career for years, followed him way back when he was doing the independents in Europe in WCPW. Great company. Kurt Angle went through there, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, they all went through there. And then the company fell apart. Besides the point. He ends up in TNA, which is when he just decides to promote the hell out of himself, promote the hell out of his song, and now, all of a sudden, everybody believes in this guy, to the point where he is one of the first and only people to show up from TNA in NXT weekly. And now, depending on how the NXT number one contenders match goes, he could be going for the NXT championship.
I think he's got a good shot of winning the championship. I think they're going to strike when the iron's hot with him. They're not going to make that same mistake they've done with so many other wrestlers. I think they're going to put the belt on. They're going to show they believe in Joe Hendry.
That crowd would go berserk.
No, I'd go berserk. Are you crazy?
You never go berserk over wrestling stuff.
No, who do you think I am?
No crazy reactions out of this guy.
The Joe Hendry meet and greet, it started at 1 o'clock at Mario's Pizza in Queens, right? We like to get the places a little early. Bear was going skydiving 10 o'clock. What time did Vilardi and I make it to the line? 11 o'clock.
10:57 to be precise.
10:57 to be exact. So we waited on this line for over 2 hours to meet Joe Hendry. And this line, when I tell you, you didn't think people would be there 2 hours early? We were in the same spot for 40 minutes when they started doing the meet and greets. And we were across the street and like in the middle of the next. So we had a pretty good spot. We stood there. A lot of crazy guys around us. People came over. They gave us these little tickets like you get at the fair, saying what package you got. Of course, I got to get the picture and the autograph. These two guys right here just got the picture. More than enough for them, but I need my autograph. You know me. I called Bear maybe a total of 6 times to see what his ETA was.
At least 6 times.
At least 6 times, because I started panicking that he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, this guy gets nervous over things that he thinks I'm going to be late to, but we get mad early to no matter what.
You're lucky we had that spot in line.
We would have saw him anyway.
I don't want to wait that long.
We would have
40
waited.
minutes is a long time.
We would have waited long regardless. Vilardi and I waited like 3.5 hours for the
Oh
Hardys.
my God, the Hardys
But
was.
But what time did you get there, though?
1. We got
What
there
time
right
did
when
it start? 1 o'clock?
Yeah, we got there right when it started, and we waited 3.5 hours.
So if you had gotten there 2 hours early like we did, you would have only waited an hour and a half.
But then you still
That's still
would have
pretty
had a-
long.
But that's the same amount of time if you think
Yeah,
about it.
that's-
You wait 2 hours and an hour and a half. That's 3.5 hours.
Shut up. I'm proving a point here.
No, you're not. I just proved you wrong.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
It doesn't matter when you go.
All right. It doesn't matter. We waited on the line. The guys around us. There was this one guy on the line, freaking hysterical. Whenever an old woman came down the block, or whenever a kid, she would go, "What's going on over here?" The guy goes, "Do you believe in the most prestigious one?" Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Do you want to meet Joe Hendry as he would try and get this old woman to jump on the line and cut in front of everybody to go meet Joe Hendry with him? Joe Hendry shows up from he had, I think he landed from the airport at like 11:45.
Yeah, I think around that time.
Go straight from the airport to the pizza place. He rolls in his car, filming us. We're on his Instagram story. Really cool. We go nuts. Goes to the pizza place. They let the VIPs in. There was like 30 VIPs. I wish I was a VIP. I really do. You move up slowly but surely. We get to the pizza place. I know exactly what I want to say to Joe Hendry. I want to plug the podcast. I want to do the turn with him. I want to do all these things. What do I do when I go to meet him? Oh, my cousins have the same last name as you. You should check ancestry.com to see if you're related. That's that's what comes out of my mouth. Out of anything I could have said. He goes, "Oh, cool. What are your cousins called?" That's the only interaction I had. Then I shook his hand, got the picture, got the group picture. Very nice guy. He's not very talkative though. At least to me, I found. What do you think, Bear?
Well, earlier that day, I did happen to go skydiving. So I thought, because this whole shtick is I believe in Joe Hendry, I figure, when I met him, I would say, earlier I was skydiving, but I'm here because I believe in Joe Hendry. And he said, oh, and he shook my hand.
And Vilardi, what did you say to him?
My only goal was to shake Joe Hendry with my right hand. This is the hand that touched Adam Copeland, also known as Edge, aka the Rated R Superstar. This is also the hand that touched Zilla Fatu after he won his very first championship ever. So this hand is going to touch as many WWE and AEW, MLW, GCW, anything with W superstars.
Don't forget about Prince Nana.
Oh my God. I have a bobblehead.
Oh my God.
Oh, speaking of bobbleheads, I have a new bobblehead in my collection. It's Tony Storm. I had to get it. I had to get it.
Where's your bobblehead, Velarde?
Oh, shall I go get
Oh,
it?
let's see it. Let's see that bobblehead of yours.
I've still never seen this. Oh my God, that is so ridiculous.
That is me as a bobblehead, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Saint Nick. Oh, wait, look at that cup he's drinking. Oh, there we are. Oh, I love it.
That is my house cup.
So that's pretty much it about meeting Joe Hendry. I got my signature. If you ever go to a meet and greet and you buy a signature package, you still got to buy something to get signed unless you bring like a belt or a shirt or whatever of your own. I think it was totally worth it to meet this guy. And they said this was one of, if not his last signings for the foreseeable future. So that makes you think, where's he going next?
It's kind of funny that, just one day I was just at Nick's house. He just showed me this theme song of this guy, and I thought it was funny. And, from that, I just started watching his matches. And that became the first and still only wrestling shirt that I own.
It's true. Oh, there he is.
Look at that. Oh, this is live. This is live right now.
This is live right now.
You're getting copyright claimed for this.
Just in case something happens, I gotta have it.
There goes the podcast.
Say his name, and he appears. We believe in Joe Hendry. Well, guys, this is a little bit of a shorter episode of the podcast this week. I have been your host, the one and only Nick Pearl. I have been joined by Good Guy Velarde and Bear. And this has been one fantastic episode of the podcast where we discussed what we thought about meeting Joe Hendry and what a cool guy he was. And Joe, thank you so much for being such an inspiration. Thank you for letting us all believe in you. And thank you for being the cover athlete of season 3 of the Ramblin' About Wrestling podcast. So everybody, let's keep rambling, and I'll see you on the next one.